Adapting to the new monetary era. Why central banks need to speed up. On 9 November 2023, a panel of senior leaders gathered to discuss the implications of the emerging new monetary order, characterized by persistently high interest rates. The discussion was enriched by insights from William C. Dudley, former president of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and current chair of the Bretton Woods Committee. Here are some of the key takeaways from this enlightening session. Keeping pace with a rapid economy. Central banks need to adapt their reaction times to match the fast-paced modern economy. Following the great financial crisis of 2008-9, institutions like the Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank maintained historically low interest rates for over a decade. This strategy aimed to foster recovery. But it wasn't until the end of this period that US unemployment returned to pre-crisis levels. And inflation remained tame until the COVID-19 pandemic upended everything in 2020. The pandemic's onset led to a sharp economic downturn and soaring unemployment. Governments responded with massive stimulus measures, which, combined with supply chain disruptions, transformed a recession into a rapid economic boom. By 2022, inflation surged to near double digits, but the Fed, still viewing inflation as temporary, delayed tightening monetary policy until March 2022. According to experts, this response was very late. The long-run consequences of policy decisions. Low interest rates and easy money led to distorted price signals and increased risk-taking. This environment fostered a fragile financial system. For instance, Silicon Valley Bank's collapse was precipitated by its investments in long-term bonds during the easy money era, which lost value when the Fed sharply increased rates. This incident raises concerns about the potential fallout if central banks keep rates too high for too long. A holistic approach to policy. Dudley is advocating for a more integrated approach to policy. One of his proposals involves requiring banks to pledge collateral to the Fed to secure their uninsured deposits, which are highly vulnerable during crisis. This measure could mitigate the risk of future bank failures. Moreover, Dudley highlights the need for better coordination between financial stability, banking supervision, and monetary policy. Often, communication gaps between these areas leave policymakers unaware of the risks low rates pose to the banking system. The Fed's proposal to raise capital requirements for the largest banks by 20% could also push risks into less regulated areas, potentially making banks less competitive. The future interest rate landscape. Despite current economic growth and federal spending on infrastructure, green energy, and semiconductor incentives, Dudley suggests the Fed is likely to cut rates before inflation hits the 2% target. He believes the central bank prefers a slight overshoot on inflation to prevent interest rates from falling back to zero. This strategy implies a long-term neutral interest rate slightly above 3.5%, balancing the need for economic stability with the flexibility to cut rates during future recessions. The rise of central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Though there is little demand for a digital dollar in the US today, Dudley predicts CBDCs are the next step beyond cash. They offer greater portability and security compared to physical currency. Several smaller countries have already introduced CBDCs, and nations like India are running pilot tests. Central banks, in collaboration with the Bank for International Settlements, have shown that CBDCs can facilitate cross-border payments, suggesting a significant role for them in countries with less developed financial systems. As we navigate this new monetary order, the need for central banks to react swiftly and holistically has never been more critical. The insights from Dudley and other experts underscore the importance of adapting policies to safeguard economic stability and foster growth. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.